all-out war.
Star Trek Into Darkness is the 2013 sequel to Star Trek in 2009 and stars Chris Pine again, Zachary Quinto again, Zoe Saldana again, Anton Yelkin again, John Cho again, and Benedict Cumberbatch. Chris Pine does an even better job as James T. Kirk. And there's a scene where he literally sounds like William Shatner. And it's just like so on point. And he doesn't do it the whole time, but it's just a little subtlety. There's a part where Spock is talking to Kirk, and then Kirk goes, "You, happy." It's just very Shatner-esque scene and line, and he does a wonderful job. Again, the rest of the crew does a really good job. Another good thing about this movie is that it tries to be Star Trek, in the sense that it tries to raise social commentary and raise questions, which is what good Trek does. Problem is, it doesn't raise it the correct way, that there seems to be an actual debate between two sides. It literally just looks like that there's a debate between the characters, and not necessarily something that we, the audience, have to think about. Because good Trek makes these questions relatable to us as the audience, and to think about how it applies to modern day society. Its execution isn't done as well. There's a wonderful arc for Kirk and Spock, because Kirk was kind of a douche in the first movie, and his rise through the ranks was kind of based on luck. And they acknowledge it in this movie, and to make him realize that, okay, there's more to being a captain. And for Spock to realize that there's more to than just logic. And I like that arc. Benedict Cumberbatch is way too over the top in this movie. All he has to do is be the evil sociopath in Sherlock, and you got a good Khan, because Khan is intellect. So just make a Sherlock version, and you got it. But he's so over the top in his evilness. Like he has his mouth wide open. It's just let me try to do a good Cumberbatch impression. It's like, is there anything that you wanna do for your family? Way too over the top. And also not to mention the fact that the original Khan, Roberto Montt, the original Khan was Indian by descent, so we got whitewashing again, which is kind of sad, because Trek is about diversity. And this movie is a slight visual downgrade, because the original 2009 Star Trek looked gorgeous, and now some of the visuals aren't as par, especially when they visit the Klingon homeworld. It looks a little murky and not as well organized visually. And definitely this movie is a little bit too much like Wrath of Khan, especially by the mid-second act and the third act. Although I will give it to its credit that it does change it enough that it's not as big as a copycat. I will say Star Wars The Force Awakens is more of a copycat than Star Trek Wrath of Khan. The soundtrack in this movie is extremely lazy. It's practically a copy from the original, so Michael Giacchino didn't innovate as much. There is a great piano piece in the beginning, but that's pretty much it. It's the same themes mostly, and it's kind of lazy. The romance between Uhura and Spock is even worse, because there's this stupid bickering that goes on, and it's annoying. There's even more plot holes in this movie that it's just so annoying, and there's also even worse character motivations, especially on the part of not only Khan, but the Admiral Marcus. This might be attributed to Damon Lindelof, who was really keen on doing all this mystery and everything, and he's not that good at doing it. He just does mystery for the sake of mystery. There's a lot of subplots that are left hanging that they start to address, then they disregard it completely, and it's sad because there's some interesting parts of these subplots that would be great if they explored it, but they just leave it hanging, never to be explored again. And the Easter eggs in this movie are fine, but if you explore the Easter egg, there's certain Easter eggs that, as a Star Trek fan, that if you analyze, they put it in just for the sake of putting it in, and when they put it in, it does more to destroy the lore than to explore the lore. So, I'm really torn on this movie. This is, once again, a fun movie. And it does more than the original to be more Star Trek in the sense of trying to have more social commentary, and to be more relevant to today's age. That being said, it fails, and it's not as cohesive as the original, albeit it tries much more. But what's going to make me give it a lower score is because it does copy Wrath of Khan, and that arc does not work for a second movie where this Kirk and Spock have basically just met each other. And in that case, the original 2009 Star Trek is a more cohesive and much better put together movie. Script-wise, action-wise, visual-wise, everything. In this case, I will put more emphasis on cohesiveness as an overall product than ambition and trying to be a good Star Trek movie. I will give this movie an 8 out of 10. It's still a great movie. It's not the worst Star Trek movie, as some Trekkies like to put it. Star Trek Into Darkness. Have you seen it? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I will see you in the next review.